We use words every single day, but how often do we really stop and think about the power packed inside just one simple word? Well, today we're going to see how a really fundamental approach to language can unlock a surprising amount of understanding, all starting with a single word. So, here's the big question we're tackling. How much can you really learn from just one word? I know, it sounds almost too simple, right? But stick with me, because you're about to be surprised by how much structure and meaning we can unpack. And our word for today, our case study, if you will, is boat. Yep, just boat. We're going to take this common, everyday word and run it through the Simple English framework to see what it can teach us about communicating clearly. Okay, let's start at square one, the absolute basics. According to the Simple English Wiktionary, a boat is a vehicle used to travel on water. That's it. Notice what's missing? There's no jargon, no complicated terms, no ambiguity. It's just direct, it's clear, and it gives us this perfect, solid foundation to build on. And this is where that simple definition just comes to life. An example sentence like, "The waves rocked the boat back and forth," immediately makes the abstract idea of a vehicle on water totally concrete. You can see it in your head instantly. So it's not just a definition anymore, it's a demonstration. So we've got our object, our thing, but language, it's more dynamic than that. That one little word, boat, can also be an action. Let's see how it can play two completely different parts. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the one hand, as a noun, a boat is a thing. It's the vehicle itself. But on the other hand, as a verb, to boat becomes an action. It's the act of traveling in that vehicle. Simple English makes this separation crystal clear, so there's no room for confusion. And check this out. Here's the verb definition, straight from the source. See how it works? To boat means to travel by boat. It actually defines the word using other basic words. It creates this neat, self-contained system that's just incredibly easy to get. There's literally no guesswork involved. Okay, so we have a noun and we have a verb, but the real magic, the real power is how this one simple concept can act as an anchor for a whole network of related ideas. This is where a real vocabulary starts to take shape. I mean, just look at this. From that one general word, boat, we can suddenly branch out and get specific. We're talking about a canoe, a ferry, a sailboat, a yacht. Each of these is a type of boat, and just by learning them, our whole understanding of the world becomes more detailed, more nuanced, and it all stems from that one core word. And it just keeps going. We're not done yet. We can start talking about the parts of a boat, like a deck or a hull. We can talk about related activities, like sailing or boating. We can even talk about the people involved, like a boatman. A whole web of knowledge is built right around that single, solid foundation. All right, so we've seen this whole process in action with our word boat. But this wasn't just some random example I picked out of a hat. There is a method to this, a system. So let's pull back the curtain and look at the actual blueprint that makes this approach so powerful. And here it is. This is the aha moment. The source tells us that boat is one of the 1,000 most common headwords, so the choice of this word was completely intentional. The whole Simple English approach starts with a core vocabulary that people are most likely to already know and use. It's a strategic choice. So this really lays out the blueprint we've just witnessed. Step 1, start with common words. Step 2, define them with absolute clarity. Step 3, use simple, real-world examples. And step 4, build connections to expand that understanding. That, right there, is the engine that drives clear communication. And why? Why go to all this trouble? Well, the philosophy behind it is both simple and incredibly powerful. The goal is to make information accessible. It's about breaking down barriers and making sure that knowledge isn't locked away behind a wall of complicated language. So that brings us to the big picture. Why does any of this really matter in our day-to-day lives? Well, it's all about recognizing the incredible and often overlooked power of communicating clearly. I mean, think about it. So much misunderstanding in the world comes from these three barriers, right? Confusing jargon, unnecessary complexity, and ambiguous language that could mean anything. What the Simple English method does is give us a toolkit to tear down these barriers, to cut through all the noise and get straight to the meaning. Now, this is a really, really important point, so let's be clear. This is not about dumbing things down. Far from it. True clarity isn't oversimplification, it's mastery. It actually takes a deep, deep understanding of a topic to be able to explain it simply. It is a powerful, high-level skill. So I'll leave you with this final thought. We are just flooded with information, 24/7 from every direction. In an age of such complete and total information overload, could it be that the ability to be clear is actually our most powerful and maybe, just maybe, our most underrated skill? Something to think about.